very valuable insights about those markets, and you will have an opportunity to ask questions. A little bit about myself. My name is Tamuna Gabilaia, and I'm the Executive Director of WFDSA. I joined WFDSA a long time ago, 21 years ago, as its first ever Executive Director, and I absolutely love this wonderful industry, like we all do who work for it for many years. Prior to joining WFDSA, I was a diplomat, and my expertise is in international trade and commerce. A little bit about WFDSA. WFDSA was established in 1978 as a federation of national direct selling associations around the world. Currently, we have association in 61 countries, and it's one association per country, one vote, one association, because regardless of your size. Today, I am very glad to introduce two amazing ladies, María Fernanda León Moreno, the Executive Director of the Ecuadorian DSA, and Anastassiya Kalashnikova, who serves as the Executive Director of the DSA of Kazakhstan. Let me tell you a little bit about María Fernanda. She has more than 30 years experience in direct selling, and she joins the DSA of Ecuador in 2008 as its executive director. She serves on many boards, and if I go down the list, we'll have to spend the entire time talking about her accomplishments. María Fernanda is a lawyer. She has several certifications. One of them is in the Women's Training Program for Corporate Governance and Senior Management. María Fernanda is also a recipient of WFDSA Global Service Award, which she received during our latest World Congress in Dubai. And this award is given every 3 years to distinguished individuals who contributed a lot to the direct selling industry globally. María Fernanda, welcome. Now let's...
Hello, Tamuna. Hello, good morning. Dear Tamuna, very good morning to Anastassiya. We are 14 kilometers from distance from Kazakhstan. To all of people who have connected to this wonderful program organized by the World Federation, thank you, Tamuna, for having invited us as country to this dialogue, and congratulations for this very, very good initiative.
Thank you, Maria. Now let me introduce Anastassiya. Anastassiya served as the executive director of the DSA of Kazakhstan since 2016. She's dedicated to promoting women's entrepreneurship and supporting micro and small businesses in Kazakhstan. Her work includes significant contributions to the tax code, environmental code, and national health projects. She collaborates with government institutions to develop and advocate for legislative projects, working with various ministries and also the Parliament of Kazakhstan. She has over 20 years of experience in logistics, oil refining, oil product training, and international B2B supplies. Anastassiya evaluates proposed legislation and its potential impact on entrepreneurs and the economy. Anastassiya's extensive background enables her to bridge the gap between legislative frameworks and practical business needs, ensuring supportive laws for the business community in Kazakhstan. Welcome, Anastassiya. Very glad to have you today with us.
Hi, Tamuna. Hi, Maria. It's very nice to see you both. It's very nice. And thank you for such a great presentation. I felt myself like a girl because here in such a quantity of years working in this industry, you know, like 30 years. Oh my God, dear girls. You are so lovely. Thank you very much for this initiative. I hope I would be able to give you best information about Kazakhstan and would serve you best.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
And before we start, just a few housekeeping items. You are able to ask questions in the Q&A section by typing them, and our panelists will be able to answer as many questions as they can. And also, you can enable closed captioned in the language of your preference by going to Zoom settings and enabling double CC icon. Okay, let's start. And first of all, let's start by providing an overview of the direct selling industry in your respective markets. It will be very nice if you can pull up presentation. I know you both prepared presentations, and we will start with María Fernanda.
Okay, thank you, Tamuna. I have a brief presentation about Ecuador and is in the direct selling channel in our country. I want to share my presentation now. Okay. Did you see my presentation now?
Yes, we are.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay. Let's talk about Ecuador. Yeah, Ecuador is a relatively small country compared to our neighbors. We are located in the north of South America. The capital is Quito, which is the city where I live and where our association is located. We have a population of 17 million people, of which 49% are men and 51% are women, half and a half, something like this. Our currency is the United States dollars, which gives the country some economic stability. We speak Spanish, and our nominal GDP is 118,118,000 dollars, and our GDP per capita is $6,391. We have an inflation of 1.75%, the lowest in Latin America, thanks to the dollar, our currency. Adequate employment in the country is 34%. Or a little more clearly, the unemployment percentage in Ecuador is 3.4%, which implies that 7 of every 10 Ecuadorians do not have adequate employment or are underemployed, which is very, very complicated for our country. Ecuador is known for being one of the most diverse countries in the world. On the other hand, everywhere is very near, since in less than 1 hour of travel, you can be in the coast, on the beach, in the mountains, or in the Amazon, and we are talking about jungle. Ecuador is the world's leading exporter of banana and shrimp, and our budget, state budget, is based on oil. We are an oil country, petroleum. Our association was on the 22 years ago. We have 18 direct selling companies, and outside the association, we only have 3 more companies. We don't have many direct selling companies in Ecuador. Of the 18 companies, only 2 are Ecuadorian. And our pillars for this year are legal security, permanently monitoring draft laws, rules, regulations, whether for the industry or for the products. We are part of the technical committees that establish standards, for example, for food, supplements, cosmetics, among others. We are taking into account by regulators, and our position or technical criteria is always considered by those who make the laws. Before they are issued, however, the rules change from one day to other here in Ecuador, so we are always very, very busy. Another pillar is we promote the strengthening of the direct selling industry through programs such as fair online programs, active presence, or social networks, workshop, and so. We safeguard and protect the reputation of the industry, and we have several corporate responsibility programs. The most important, for example, is Look Good, Feel Better, a global program with more than 40 years in the world, in Ecuador since 2011. We also work on the sustainable development goal of the Global Compact, number 3, especially health and well-being, in 5, gender equality, and 6, clean water and sanitization. For now, until the last year, we participated in 5 SDG. Regarding the sales, it has been, here we have our members. And regarding our sales, it has been extremely difficult for Ecuador to recover the figures of 2011 prior to the pandemic. The unstable political situation has a great impact on the family finances. And regarding market share, the majority are cosmetics with 59%, followed by food supplements with 22%. Between the 2 categories, they are 81% is the majority. For the first quarter of 24, cosmetics grow and now is 66%, and supplement decreased to 17%. And we are very, very active on social media, and we are on all of them. You can find us at the address that you can see now in the screen. I don't talk about these. These are our figures, sales figures. As you can see, we increase in 2023 something like 3%, only 3%. But we are increasing. Yes, that is all, dear Tamuna. Thank you very much.
Thank you, María Fernanda. Very interesting presentation. And we at the WFDSA are finalizing our 2023 statistical data, which we'll release along with our publication, which we launched last year, WFDSA Start. So it will be very interesting to see for everyone how our industry is doing. But when we analyzed during previous years, regardless of economic conditions, we saw that industry overall experienced a long-term growth. Okay, thank you so much. Very interesting presentation. And now we go to Anastassiya, because not too many people hear about Kazakhstan. And, you know, direct selling in that part of the world where you come from is developing. And we will be very interested to hear about the market trends and anything that you can tell us so companies are aware and hopefully will start their operations in Kazakhstan as well.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's start my part. María Fernanda, it was a great presentation, very interesting and very, very light. Very nice.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Kazakhstan, direct sales market, challenges and opportunities in our country for, let's start. Okay. Oh my God, come on. Why it's not going further? Can you see it?
Yes, we do.
Okay, so Kazakhstan in a glance. So first of all, I would like to tell you that we do have a very growing population and very young. 2013 year, almost 70 million population were in our country, and 2024, more than 20 million. So the growth was 3 million per these years. We are situated in a huge and rich territory. Area of Kazakhstan, about 2.7 million square kilometers. We are 9th in the world. GDP per capita in 2023 was more than $13,000 per capita. I would like also add that we are surrounded by lots of countries, Soviet Union countries, former Soviet Union countries. It's Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, with whom we work very closely. So it's about 18 million people in total living in this region. So just imagine, it's population about 18 million people. Kazakhstan is a participant of WTO and Eurasian Union. We, as I told you, we actively interact with our neighbors like Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, Kyrgyzstan, Azerbaijan, and Tajikistan. And I would like to show you how beautiful my country is. It's Kolsai Lakes. It's Bozhira. It's very nice, really. Shuchi Lake. And let's go to our direct selling market, about our sphere. In association now, we do have 9 members and 1 candidate. It's all international brands, as you can see. And now we do have Atomy, who is coming to our market, who is coming to our association. Association is, I had started actively working in association in 2016, but the association was created in 2005, so it's very, very old. And we are 85% of direct selling market now in Kazakhstan. Another couple companies, as I told you, Atomy is coming to us this year from the year 2024, and other company are not as huge as my companies are. For about our contribution to the budget, I would like you to understand some points. Last year, my companies has paid in total to the budget about 35 billion tenge of taxes. For your understanding, is it much or not? I would show you one more data. The land tax is about 18 billion tenge per year. So it's half less than my industry gives to the budget. It's very cool, I think.
And what is the correlation of your local currency to the dollar? So it's
sorry, $1 is about 450 tenge
per $1. Okay, thank you.
Okay. And one more beautiful picture of my participants. 1 month ago in May, we had meeting. It was very nice. So you can see all of them on one picture. Sales and data dynamics. The last net sales of my companies. I want to tell you that it's exactly net sales of my companies only, not direct sellers. In last year, in year 2023 was more than 200 billion tenge. It means $450 million US. We had a very good dynamics compared to the last year. We grew by 30%. For several years, the leading position of goods sold by companies are wellness products. In year 2023, sales of wellness products accounted for 45% of our basket. This is 8% more than in year 2022. You can see it in the figure. Please, can you see it? Okay. Okay. Next one. The leading number of entrepreneurs is in the age of 35 to 44 group, and it's about 32%. But as you can see, during the last year, the number of entrepreneurs in the younger age group, 25 to 34, is also growing, especially in the last year. Okay, and the total amount of our independent partners, about 1.6 million. Okay, that's all I wanted to tell about my markets.
Thank you. It's a very interesting presentation, and what we saw. And my next question will be to both of you, that you in your presentation, you showed that the number of the younger people are getting more involved in direct selling, and also compared to previous years, I would say in the last 5-6 years since 2018, we saw that the industry experienced significant growth. So first, if you can clarify, what is attributable to the growth? Why do you think the industry has grown every year in Kazakhstan? And now my question will be to both of you, because it's very important to recruit younger generation, right? And we saw from Kazakhstan that it's actually increasing. If you can clarify, Anastassiya, and then I will go to María Fernanda for the same question. How is this situation in Ecuador?
Yes, certainly I can. First of all, my companies do a lot of programs for younger generation, and they prepare for them products. And it's especially we have we have a population which is very young here in Kazakhstan and very active. Our Kazakhstanians are trying to be independent, and so I think that's the reason why the industry is growing here.
Okay. Okay, very nice. And María Fernanda, how is it in Ecuador in terms of younger generation getting involved in direct selling? Because if we look at our industry, it's everything that they want. There is no 9 to 5. You can set your own hours. It's so easy to join. You don't need any substantial resources. It's very easy to join. So how about Ecuador, if you can share your insights?
Yes, most of the population here in Ecuador is very, very young people. We are talking about people from 18 to 25 years. And we have a problem, as I said before, that is very, very complex here, which is unemployment. Then another important thing for young people is this requirement of the need of to be free, to be available for another activities, and they want to be free again. It's important to say that the companies are organizing, are planning many programs to attract them, and they are attracted them, especially when they attend the recognition programs, because we have a very massive recognition programs here, and they want to get leaders. They want to get leaders, but only leaders. And this is one of the way to get it. Then the companies are trying to get them working with videos, working with programs, focus groups for young people, programs especially for millennials, for centennials, and it's very important. But we don't have to, and we have to think about the new economic silver. I don't know if you can hear about it, but there is a lot of people who has 60 years and more, and very productive, and they have they want to pay for very good products. They are traveling, they have money. Then it's important for companies to remember that we have this sector who are a trend now, which is the silver economy. The companies are working for the two sectors at the same time, and it's a very good strategy to attract young people, but without leaving ahead the economy, silver economy.
Okay, thank you very much. Very good answers, and it's very interesting to hear your perspectives. Now let's move to our next question. And as we all know, you have to have favorable market conditions and favorable regulations for as a matter of fact, for any industry to grow. So my next question to both of you, starting with you, María Fernanda, will be: what are the key regulations governing direct selling industry in your country, and how do they impact market dynamics?
Okay, in Ecuador, we don't have a specific law for direct selling, since this channel is a part of the commercial field regulated by the commercial law. In Ecuador, we consider that a specific law is not necessary, since then each of the channels present in the market, such as retail, such as the supermarkets, such e-commerce, something like pharmacies, sales in department store, etc., each of them should then have its own regulation. This makes no sense for us. Direct selling companies comply with all laws that regulates the commerce in our country, such as taxes, customs, labor, intellectual property laws, among others. However, sometimes direct selling can be misinterpreted or not understood, and that is happened to us in Ecuador. This is the reason why one of our projects is to ensure that direct selling is defined within the commercial law as another form of sales without further details, since there is no need. Furthermore, the more detailed, the greater the risk of the confusion of people and the authorities. What us concerns us is legal uncertainty that change the rules from one moment to the next, and is the case with tax law, for example. This harms the industry, impact the industry, but within this complex scenario, companies have learned to get ahead, also with the support of our association.
Okay, thank you. And now going to Anastassiya, and if you can talk about regulation and also Are there any changes that you expect? And are they favorable or not?
Yes, it's very interesting and very good questions. Yes, we do have the same, like in Ecuador, we don't have special regulation for direct selling. Only some kind of rules but they're not very specific, and we just, we just keeping them in mind. Sometimes it is good not having regulation because it's simple, and we can use sales regulation by means of DSA, but sometimes it's bad. It's bad from the point of view when our direct sellers don't have a special taxation regime. And each day we have our tax code more complicated, and as difficult it becomes, less people want to work in the industry, and less people want to work in being entrepreneurs at all, and especially starters. And now, last year, our president asked to write a new taxation code, and we're working closely with government now. And last year we did an economic research, and we were really very active in this field, because it's very important for both, and for companies and for entrepreneurs, because we promote a very good initiatives for both, for small entrepreneurs and for a huge one, and it's makes us really very good, and it's very nice. I hope we would succeed in this sphere. I hope World Federation of DSA would help us by the practices, by knowledge, and I think we would succeed in this. That's all.
Thank you, and we hope you will, and we're here to support you in any ways we can, and that's why we always get together and share experiences in order to see best practices and how we can best support you. Now let's move to a very interesting topic. It will be market trends and consumer behavior. What we see, consumer behavior and market trends change. And my next question will be, how have consumer behaviors and preferences evolved in recent years, and what trends are currently shaping the direct selling market? It will be very interesting to hear, and whoever wants to start, María Fernanda.
Okay, Tamuna, very, very, very interesting question. There is no doubt that everything is changing, and consumers are not what we were in the past. Today, not only the new generations, but all of us who are aware of where the world is going and needs are the new consumers. It is not about a fashion, it is not about a trend, but about knowing that, for example, that we are responsible for what is happening to the planet and the disastrous future that we can inherit to the next generations if we do not take actions. That is why now, before buying a product or good, we investigate, think, feel, and buy. We investigate what is behind a product, a brand, a company. Are they products that have a purpose behind them? Do they generate any value to the community? Were they tested in animals? Is their material recycled? Do they produce waste and damage to the oceans or the environment in general? Is there gender equality in that company? Does the purchase of those products or goods or services support any social or corporate responsibility program? Only when we feel that they are products or goods that generate the value for others or for the environment do we buy the product. It is no longer just the quality, effectiveness, efficiency of the product or good, but now it's important everything that is behind its production. This is why the industry should change its way to promote products and to promote business. Now, what is relevant is the history of or purpose behind a brand. As association, we are part of the United Nations Global Compact, and we work on several sustainable development goals, and we have received some recognitions. We seek as an association to position direct selling image as an ethical sector which works for increasingly better world for present and for the future generations. This is all that I could say that this is the new brand that promote, that move the sales decision in the new consumers.
Okay.
One of the factors that move people to buy something.
You said it so well. And now, Anastassiya, do you have to add anything? And then I'll put my comment.
Yes. Yes, I do have. I do have prepared some trends also from my markets, from my point of view, and I'm totally agree with María Fernanda, but I would like to tell that my trends are more about the way of life changes, of consumer way of life changes. The time spending is changing, and so that I need to give you the very sharp description of my trends. So nowadays I can see the big demand from the public for brief, reliable information, clear scientific basis, demand for ethics and for the honesty. Consumer want to see a wide range of products in one place in any time. It's from my point of view, and about if we talk about products, I have a feelings, and I have some researchers that now trends is natural beauty care with a minimum of time spent due to busy life, and a big trend towards health. You could see it in my data when wellness is about 45% of our product range.
Very well. Very good answers. And when initially, we all remember when we could buy everything on the internet. We all went on the internet, and we were buying everything on the internet. And then we saw the trend changes because people also go to the stores. There was a very good research, and I don't remember exactly when it was done. I think it was in 2021 when COVID just spread around the world. And the trend was where there were a certain percentage of consumers, quite large, who likes to buy online. There were also very large segment of population who likes to do both. For me, for example, I like convenience buying online, but I love going to the stores. And the feeling and touching, because nothing can replace it, of course. So and for younger generation, and you said it so well, María Fernanda, they are so well informed. It's not that I have two kids. My son is 18, my daughter is 15, and it's not that I particularly teach them that you have to look at those. They are already informed. That's how this generation is. They know where a product comes from. They know if it's been tested on animals. So it's really amazing generation, and consumers are very cautious now. They want to know all the things about the product, about the mission, about the company. And it's not just about price point or buying anything, anywhere, anytime, right? Because we can all do that. It's buying those products that have purpose, that are made in a way which is environmentally friendly. And they look at the companies. What are companies doing? Corporate social responsibility, sustainability, and so on. And that leads me to our next question about sustainability and social responsibility. And I know, Mafe, in Ecuador, you are very big on it, and as well as in many markets, but we know that, as I mentioned, sustainability and social responsibility are more important than ever in today's business world. And consumers want companies to be ethical, environmentally friendly, and socially conscious. And this shift highlights the impact businesses have on society and the planet. And let's explore what direct selling companies are doing to promote sustainability and social responsibility. In WFDSA, occasionally we do a corporate giving report. It's very interesting. We have done the last one we have done a couple of years ago when pandemic spread around the world, and it was based on about 40 companies to see what they have been doing, and the results are very interesting. We have research on our website, so you can look at it. But María Fernanda, I know that you have great programs, and if you can talk a little bit about that, and then we'll go to our next question.
Okay, Tamuna, yes. The companies we represent are characterized by being responsible with environment, with gender issues, with management of waste, and so. In short, companies are aware that they must adopt the Sustainable Development Objectives of the Global Compact of the United Nations, and in Ecuador, these programs are very, very, very strong. We have a lot to tell. One of our multinational companies, for example, from the USA, has a foundation in Ecuador that is responsible for educating children and young people with limited economic resources. They have a very high level of education. Another company has another program to rescue girls and adolescents, teenagers, in a state of vulnerability for different reasons. Their testimonies are very, very moving. Another emblematic direct selling company has another program called Women is Power, which improves women's self-esteem. In terms of sustainability, we have a company that have just installed 2 months ago 476 solar panels throughout this distribution center 2 months ago, which generates energy for all its entire operation. 90% of the companies that they manufacture or that sell in Ecuador have responsible waste management programs and recycling programs, and the weather use programs. To know a little more about this, you can go to our Facebook Live page, where every Wednesday at 6 o'clock in the night, each company member and special guest talks about to us, to the audience, about their sustainable programs, everything they are doing for a better world. Is really, really exciting. We invited to see our programs of each Wednesday to know about the sustainability. Companies that are very good, that are good for the world.
Thank you, María Fernanda. And you also have a really amazing initiative, and you were in Washington, D.C. not so long ago when I saw you, and about the cancer patients, and it's really, really amazing initiatives. Can you touch on that?
Yes, it's our program, and we were in Washington because Look Good, Feel Better is a global program, and we have the meeting there in Washington 2 months ago, and all of association that we have that program, we're talking about what we are doing, best practices, and so, and was the opportunity to meet Tamuna too, this wonderful opportunity.
Thank you so much. Now let's move to our next question. It's a very important question, and we've seen during the past couple of years that with all the technological advancements, with all the changes and all the adaptation that we had to make due to the pandemic, especially for the direct selling industries, our companies adapted, and we saw that they are innovative and they are flexible, and technologies play such a huge role, right? So can you share, and this question is to both of you, some of the examples of innovative practices or technologies adopted by direct selling companies in your country to enhance their operations and consumer experiences? Who wants to start first?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. Innovating does not necessarily have to do with technology. Innovating many times means returning to the basic and understanding that we are selling that we are selling are not products, goods, or services. We are, as direct selling industry, we are selling emotions and experiences. Companies that transcend time and borders are those that focus their attention on human beings, awakening emotions that create loyalty, affection, and passion for a brand. When we see commercials, for example, for Coca-Cola, Adidas, or Nike, they do not focus on the product, but on the message that they make people get engaged on the brand, as they cause positive feelings that attract happiness, that promote values, in our case, that create positive experiences for their independent distributors and their consumers. The companies that grow in direct sellings are those that have understood this new way of promoting very well and that are reaching people's heart with emotional videos that talk to you, not about the product, but for example, about the power that the women has inside them. They talk to you about the importance of inclusion. They tell you stories about their social responsibility programs. They participate in forums in which they don't talk to you about products or goods. They talk to you about their fights against cancer of the breast, for example. In addition, companies now organize their workshops and courses on the digital field with videos that become viral, showing strategies to sell in this material. Companies are training people in digital tools to empower businesses, and they are supported too with the academic program that we have in our association. Companies have also returned to their massive recognition events. People like to be recognized. And as a conclusion, there are three relevant strategies: the digitalization of businesses, not selling products but emotions, and turning social network into permanent storytelling, which makes the direct selling industry very, very aspirational. And social selling is very important for all our industry.
Very nice. Very good answer, María Fernanda. And message is so important. The message is, how we communicate. So it relates to consumers directly. Anastassiya, do you want to add anything?
Yes, certainly. I'm again totally agree with María Fernanda. In spite we are on the other side of the world, but still the thoughts are absolutely the same. So today's world, innovative practices are all about online. So the good sample of this was in COVID period. My company, for the first time during the last 7 years, grew for 28%. They could transform its business for very quickly. They could give the consumer what they needed. And as I told before, consumer trends, the short information and very clear, and ethic and honesty. We should be honest to our clients, and they do believe us and would be grateful to us a long time.
Absolutely. And, our industry is a self-regulated industry. And so we know we have a global code of ethics, and every direct selling association adopted the code of ethics, which is based on our WFDSA code with the minimum requirements, and many of them exceed the requirements not only of our code, WFDSA, but also of those laws in the country. And I wanted to ask you if you have any initiatives that are currently going on regarding the code of ethics, because we all know that this is so important in today's world. María Fernanda?
Of course. Okay, the Federation's Code of Ethics Certification Program is very, very strong and important, so important in Ecuador. Yesterday, I was invited to one university, and from all the empresarial or business environment here in Ecuador to talk about our certification program. Our association, with the workshops we offer to employees, strategic alliance, and independent distributor, has trained more than 5,000 people in 2024, plus the first quarter of this year. The program has contributed to create an ethical culture, ethical and integrity culture in this industry. We have become a reference for other industries here in our country. For us, it is one of the most important programs, and we give the recognition in a gala dinner with the presence of the government authorities. The last one, we had our labor ministry who gave the recognition to each certified qualified companies. On the other hand, the industry is negatively impacted by illegalities such as smuggling, yes, counterfeiting of brands and products, and the informal market. These affect us, which is why Direct Selling Association, our associations, we are working with authorities to denounce illegality. In terms of transparency, it's important to say that companies share their data at the end of each quarter, and they do so openly and directly to our association, which allows us to consolidate the data to share it with all the companies. This data is very, very important for the industry and for the association, as it allows us to allow companies to establish their strategies based on the results. And this is a sign of transparency. This is their excellent, transparent and ethical sector. And we have to communicate. If we don't communicate, it's something that never exists, what we are doing.
Very good answer. Anything else to add, Anastassiya?
Yes, certainly. We also, all the time, we are closely working with our code administrator, with Consumer Protection Society. It's very old Consumer Protection Society. I think it's from the earliest 90s, from the previous century. And to tell the truth, we don't have now such problems with regulation and with ethical behavior of anyone in our country. And the last problem which arises among consumers and my companies, I think, was more than 3 years ago. And all other problems companies are trying to solve by themselves. They worked up very strict rules which they followed, which they are following, and it's very the result is very quality, and the result is no consumer problems within our industry. But still, we do work with Consumer Protection Society, and our Artik Jumagulovna is helping us with all rules and is watching our work very carefully also.
Thank you both. And as a World Federation, we do the same, as you know, that we constantly try to raise the bar on ethics. Now we have about 13 minutes for Q&A. And let me start asking first question. For example, what are both of you, please answer, if I was a direct selling company and I want to open in your market, what are anywhere from 1 to 3 main things that I as a company need to know before opening in your markets? Let's start. Who would like to start? María Fernanda?
Well, what need to know to start a company here in Ecuador?
Yes, so
it's very, very important to know the regulations. Firstly, the first thing that we recommend to the new companies is to know all the legal framework that we have here in Ecuador, because if you lose one of them, you can go here. The regulation, you can, we recommend to see the trends, to look for the trends that we have here in our consumers. We have a potential here for direct selling industry in Ecuador. We have unemployed people, a lot of unemployed people who are looking how to entrepreneur, they are looking entrepreneurship as an option, and we are making a very strategic, we are launching some strategies to attract people to our industry, and the new companies should adapt this strategic as association to, as a part of association, and to adapt them to their companies. First, regulation. Second, they have to be member of the association is one of the second recommendation that we make to all of them, because it's important to be aligned as industry and to speak the same language and to know what words should be used and not here in our difficult environment, because we have change of rules from one day to another. But we have potential here in direct selling. But regulation is most important. The legal framework is very, very important, and to be member of our association, to know the data from many studies, market studies that we have. As example, Kantar, we have the Kantar information, which is a multinational dedicated to organize market studies, or Euromonitor, for example, and all the information that we have directly to our companies. Of course, we only share that information with our members, but we have some data that could be very, very important for the new companies. We have a potential here in Ecuador. We have a very, very potential, and we invite other companies because we don't have many direct selling companies here coming to Ecuador.
Great answer. Anastassiya?
So María Fernanda told legislation first, second, to be the part of DSA. You know, yes, totally agree again. I think it's the red line everywhere. We have really in Kazakhstan, we do have very difficult legislation in field of taxation. So be very careful. Do make an official presence here in Kazakhstan, because when you don't work, when you don't open the entity in Kazakhstan, we assume that you are not behave correctly, and you know, sometimes our governmental bodies don't like this situation. So if you work in Kazakhstan, you should have a legal entity in Kazakhstan, and you should guarantee your customers what you are selling, what you are promising them, and to give consumers guarantees also. What else to add? You know, it's I told you that it's such a long distance from us, but it's absolutely the same positions for my market, like for market María Fernanda. I even don't have any to add.
Okay, great. And again, you know, I always tell people when they reach out to me, the companies, and asking me, like, what can you tell me about this market? You know, do you think, you know, we'll be successful? I always say, do your market research and go to the country, set up a meeting with a DSA, because it is our body in that country to help you, and also apply for the membership. It is very important to be the member of the DSA, because DSA
Yes.
is the voice of our industry. We speak with one voice. We know it's so important. On that, I wanted to ask you, when companies join your association or apply to join the association, there is a probationary period, you know, in most associations, because you have to review documents, you have to make sure that companies comply with local laws, regulation, and as well as a code of ethics. So what is the probationary period in your country, in your DSA, for the companies to join? Is it 6 months? Is it 1 year?
1 year. And before companies coming to DSA, we are watching how many what time she's spent being in Kazakhstan when she was registered. We're checking the consumer protection. Was there any problems with that company, with consumers, with representatives, and so on and so on. So it's not a very simple process. And my participants are very you know, careful about each new company. We just looking on everything, where its company works, in which countries, where, and because of DSA system which we have, and World Federation of DSA, we can receive an information, good or bad, very quickly from our colleague, and we can understand how company is behave on each market. And it's very good information and very valuable in case of our business, in case of direct selling companies. And so the decision about coming to direct selling association, taking or not company to direct selling association, is very, very you know, very important and very detailed.
Okay, María Fernanda?
In Ecuador, only 6 months, because before we present the candidates to our board of directors, we investigate everything about this company, the candidate, before qualifying. We ask for recommendations for the other direct selling association, if they are in multinational. If not, we ask for recommendation of another chamber of commerce, associations of productive and industry, chambers or associations from another countries too. And when we are ready with all the information from the new candidate, we present it to the board of directors, but no more than 6 months, because we have a previous work for the qualification.
Okay, it's very good answers. And what I want to point out, because if you look at the industry, it's a huge industry, $173 billion industry with over 125 million salespeople. We're 61 associations. But what I always say during my speeches, because it is in reality very small, tightly knit industry, because what happens in one market spreads with the speed of light to another market, right? So companies should not assume that if they are members of one association, that if they go to another market, they can immediately become the members, or they will be approved, because they have to comply with all the requirements. They have to comply with laws. And as you pointed out, both of you, Anastassiya and María Fernanda, it's very important to realize that your membership in one association does not guarantee you at all membership in other association, because it's a rigorous review process. Even for small markets like Kazakhstan, where you only have 9 members and would love to have new companies, your review process is 1 year, and your, María Fernanda, too, it's 6 months. So this is a very important message. Now we only have 4 minutes until the end, and last question will be, and just very briefly before we adjourn, what are the 3 main drivers of successful business? And what must direct selling companies and independent distributors consider to achieve expected results in current scenarios? 3 words.
Interesting. 3 words that are key in today's competitive business world: innovation. 3 words: innovation, sustainability, digitalization, or technology is the same. These 3 words, Tamuna, represents where the world is going today, and are the success factors of companies that grow and transcend. Innovation, and it is disruptive, much better, do something different to obtain different results. Sustainability is the purchasing motivator for new consumers, and because not everything is profitability. Today, we are responsible for what happens to our planet and what is happening in the world. And digitalizations, because before the biggest ones ate the smallest one. Today, the fastest one eat the slowest one. We need greater easy to do our work and businesses, and also to transcend as leader and human beings. And as association, we have to be aligned and to learn about the digital tools to improve our works, to improve our response to our members, and to be aligned with the where the world are going.
Very good answer.
Yes, it's the responsible for our associations too. The 3 words for our association is the same thing.
Very good. Anastassiya?
I would start from reputation. First of all, it's still very important. Reputation, and one more reputation. Be very honest with your customers, with your business partners, and it would come with you with grants. The second one is adaptation. Adaptation, it's very important, especially quick adaptation. And as I told before, the time go very quickly, and we should be adaptable, and it's very important. And the third one, I think certainly it's online. So it's our main direction now. So we want we or not, we should adopt those things very quickly and use them in our real life.
Absolutely, and I agree with you. adaptability, flexibility, and always have a plan B. It's very important.
Yes,
Thank you so much, wonderful ladies. It was very interesting. Thank you for joining, and our next webinar will be at the end of the month. Thank you.
And thank you very much, Tamuna. Thank you very much, Anastassiya.